Chamath is like a dump and jump and pump and dump guy. He is about somewhere between 10 and 20 billion dollars. This is his net worth, okay? How he got to this net worth? Well, it's just like how investors are operate, okay? They invest in something and then they wait until it mature and then sell and then invest in something new. And he is, according to media, the next Warren Buffett and finally millionaire and billionaire. I think everybody can become billionaire by investing stocks. Chamath Palihapitiya is maybe the most notorious billionaire out there, specifically when he is on CNBC. Yes, he was again on an event called Alpha Delivering Alpha, and I will show you a clip where it's absolutely mind-blowing what he did, and this gives another huge shine on the issue that Chamath is like a dump and jump and pump and dump guy. He actually is not. He is a very, very calculated billionaire investor that is crazy successful, that is unbelievable, thinking about not only which are socially important investments, but also better for humanity as well as our planet. So let's have a look what he actually said in this interview.
There is a huge opportunity to build a distributed energy utility. You know, I've mentioned this to you before, but I think there's going to be a cataclysm in the energy markets. I think the utilities are under duress. They're in a very, very difficult spot, and the laws don't understand what will happen when individuals like you and I can generate our own power. And so, you know, again, closing the circle on Virgin, you know, when I sold a couple $100 million, it was in large part to fund this thing, which is quickly becoming, over the next few years, in my opinion, will be the largest distributed energy utility in America. So I'm very proud of the work that I'm doing over here, and hopefully, you know, I'll pick up a little bit of the slack that Tesla is not going to be able to, you know, operationalize as they build an incredible EV business. And so both things I think will happen. I think it'll manifest in a different company.
You still have a sizable stock position in Tesla?
No.
You sold it?
Yeah.
When?
Over the last few years, we've sort of, you know, not last few years, like really in the last year or so particularly, you know, the prices allowed me to, again...
Surprised to hear you say that after what you just said about the company.
Well, I don't have an infinite pool of capital. You know, I'm myself. I don't raise funds. I can't go to other people. And so when I have these ideas, the money has to come from someplace. The only other solution would be for me to get totally levered up. And I'm just not comfortable with that risk. And so, you know, I'm a meager guy with meager means.
Yeah, right.
So as you can see, he sold all his Tesla shares to finance the next IPO A to D, which means that basically, you know, when you are saying, oh, he's, you know, just running this and he sold his Virgin Galactic shares because he needs the money, this is very bad. Well, it's not. It's just like how investors are operate, okay? They invest in something and then they wait until it mature and then sell and then invest in something new, except the investment is still worth on holding. But as bigger the companies get, as harder it is to grow, and therefore it's wiser to invest into younger companies and then grow your capital even more. Now, let's have a case study what he actually did, okay? He invested very early in Tesla because he saw, okay, Elon Musk is a crazy, very great entrepreneur. He was already successful with some companies like PayPal and other companies out there. And on the other side, he was super successful in, you know, calculating what it needs to build a successful e-vehicle company. And then Chamath had a couple of IPOs upcoming, okay? IPO A, which is Virgin Galactic, IPO B, IPO C, IPO. He actually want to bring IPO A until IPO Z to the markets. That's why they call him the SPAC King. And the SPAC King is actually needing money, right? He don't have access to unlimited resources, so he need to do something. So he saw, okay, which investments are now, let's say, matured or maybe even overbought. And then he saw, you know, Tesla definitely. You know, Tesla went 10x within 1.5 years. So it was absolutely crazy. And if you followed this channel since 2019, then you was together with me on the journey to make a lot of money, okay? And we are still just getting started. So make sure to follow me also and smash that like button. We want to get to 500 likes this time with this video. And I would highly appreciate if you share this to not only Virgin Galactic investors, but also to Tesla investors, because this is very, very important as well. So as you can see, my food is ready. But who actually is Chamath Palihapitiya? If you haven't heard about him, I'll give you a short introduction into his success, okay? So he is billionaire, so he's worth, since I know a couple of interviews that he spoke about his net worth, he is about somewhere between 10 and 20 billion dollars. This is his net worth, okay? Then we are having, okay, how he got to this net worth, okay? He worked for the company called WinNap. If you remember this music tool, WinNap or WinMap, I don't remember exactly, but you will see it here in the B-roll. Actually, he was one of the first managers, then he became manager at AOL and one of the youngest VPs out there, and then he moved on to Facebook, where he became one of the most successful ever guys. Together with Zuckerberg, he was responsible for growing Facebook internationally, and then he went out of the company with obviously with a lot of money, with options and stock that he received, and then he created a fund, and then he early also, you know, basically were super successful with investments like Amazon, with investments like Bitcoin, with investments like Tesla, right? So you see that he really is onto something. He knows what it means to have the next big thing. And I really believe that if you're just following this kind of people, and he is, according to media, the next Warren Buffett, and I still believe that he can create a wealth for himself that is crossing way over $200 billion in the next couple of years. So when he says something or he's on his podcast, he speaks very, very intelligently, and I really like his overall opinion about things. I love to hear his podcast, the All In podcast, which he is every Friday on, together with his other three besties, and I really enjoy to tap the links of these successful investors and understand it. This is totally for free, guys. You can watch all his interviews he have ever done. So we are in a very happy time. Imagine a couple of years ago, you could, you know, listen to Warren Buffett, what he has actually to say on the markets was, you know, sometimes he appeared on TV, but with things like podcasts, with the internet, with, you know, YouTube, you have so many interesting sources of information, especially for this kind of super interesting people, and you can get trends that those people are getting with its team, because, you know, obviously he has a team behind it that do also research, due diligence, and so on and so forth. And I believe that in the end of the day, you can really find some really diamonds. But there is something else that I want to show you, and this is in the next part of the video. In the last part of this video, I would like to remind you that you should be subscribed and hit and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm to help me if you are enjoying this free content. Now, there is one more thing that I want to show you. Chamath Palihapitiya, I think it was very hard for him to sell Tesla shares in terms of, no, I mean, not hard per se, but look what he actually had to say about Tesla a couple of years ago, and you see his conviction about Tesla, and he actually wanted to hold his shares forever, but obviously as this kind of hedge fund manager, you need to understand, okay, there is maybe room to grow for Tesla every year like 30%, but then on the other side, you know, how much you can grow for a company that is quickly brought to the market like Virgin Galactic, you know, you can thousands of % on your money. So it's really smart to do this moves, but let's have a look into this video.
More than 2 years ago, you're at Sohn, you pitched the converts.
Converts, yeah.
Where are you with those today? And then I want to talk to you more broadly about that company.
So if you take a step back, right? If I asked you to sort of, you know, attempt to drive a golf ball off the pier here into a teacup and gave you 1 million tries, I suspect that in 1 million times you would not be able to do it. But if you then took somebody else and they were able to do it 9 times out of 10, you'd say, wow, that person is a great golfer. The analogy that I would make is Elon basically did that equivalent. He was able to send a rocket into space, do all kinds of interesting, enormously productive, useful things for the world while in space, and then come back down and land on a boat in the middle of the ocean. The kind of technical sophistication that he has in his mind, that he's been able to apply across his companies, is second to none, quite honestly. So when we looked at Tesla, what we thought was a company at an inflection point that was as close to its version of an iPhone moment. And what I mean by that is a company that had been growing up, taking risks, and had finally found the mass market product that would unlock an enormous amount of product market fit. And that was the Model 3. And so far, what I would say is he's living up to what he has signed up for, which is to commercialize electrification, to commercialize an incredible user experience at a price point that has frankly cannibalized its competitors. And what you see in the results, in my opinion, is a company that is now maturing under all of that demand. And so, again, is it the best suited company if you want to drive and observe quarter-over-quarter precision and performance? No. But if you want to take a step back and take a 3-5-year view and say, where can I compound my money? And particularly with the converts, what's so beautiful is it's downside protected because it sits on top of all the equity and the other debt. And so if you have any concern that there's liquidity issues, or if you have any concerns that the company may have to sell, they get paid first. So to me, it was a riskless option on the Edison of our generation.
But you weren't you weren't necessarily comfortable enough with the story to buy the common stock?
The reason is because the common stock is not controlled, unfortunately, enough by him or the insiders. What it's controlled by are a bunch of vulture-like venture and hedge funds, mostly hedge funds, who like to prey on that company. If you look at, for example, the Twitter traffic, or if you look at the forum traffic around Tesla, the amount of hyping or under-hyping, the amount of sniping is enormous. All of that signals to me that it is a market that is out of the control of the founders and the executives and firmly in the hands of financial manipulators.
Oh, come on.
So
I mean,
my perspective is buy the bonds, you're protected, and allow Elon to execute.
Isn't the founder and his actions responsible for a lot of what you're talking about?
Well, all I see, frankly, is that he has tried to execute to the best of his abilities. He puts out aggressive numbers. He tries to meet those numbers. Sometimes he misses those numbers. What would you rather
often he misses the numbers.
But that's okay, because in the course of the year or in the course of the 5 years, if you take a 5-year step back and say, what has he promised in 2014 to what is he doing in 2019, you'd be ecstatic. Similarly, if you take a step back and say from 2019 to 2024, let the man do his job, will we be better or worse off as a planet, as a species, as humanity, as consumers? We will be better off.
And no one debates his genius. It's lauded, celebrated. It's the fact that the way he runs his company. You're comfortable with that? If you're an investor in Tesla, you're 100% comfortable with the way he is a CEO?
Yeah. Yeah.
None of the actions that he's done over the last year or so give you pause at all?
What do you mean? Meaning the Model 3 is an incredible car. I just bought one. It's incredible. I bought it the way that it
funding
was
secured? I mean, what was that?
Okay, maybe he stepped out of bounds. My point is, you're getting caught up in the window dressing. I'm focusing on the main course. The main course is on the table. The choice for you as a buyer or a seller of that stock is, do you want to eat it? If you get caught up in all of the stuff around the edges, maybe he may mistweet from time to time. My point is, who cares? Your job as a smart investor is to separate the facts and the news from the fiction and the noise. And all of that stuff doesn't matter. It does not change the fact that tens of thousands of consumers are buying that car faster than they can get their hands on it. It doesn't change that the minute you sit inside that car, your definition of what is expected is altered forever. And you wonder why every other car around you that you ever step in, that you may buy, doesn't have the same things that that car offers. So at the end of the day, whether you like his style or not, his substance is irrefutable.
So you can see, he was, doesn't matter the argument, he was really defending Tesla and Elon Musk, where you can really learn that, you should be always behind your investments, okay? What does it mean? So if you invest in the companies, and could be for you maybe Tesla, maybe Palantir, maybe Rocket Lab, once you invest, it's like a baby, it's like a project in my personal opinion. You should be really concerned about all the news that come up. You should be really concerned about all the books are written either on the founder of the company, of the market. There's a lot of things that you can learn that are really easy accessible informations, which is only not available to you because maybe you are too lazy. So think about that. How much of a better investor and finally millionaire and billionaire. I think everybody can become billionaire by investing stocks. And this is by just investing, let's say $1,000 or $10,000 today, and start to really push yourself into research and understanding what is behind companies that make them worth much more. Okay, so I think this is something that you should consider. I hope you have the best Monday that you had ever in this brand new week. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think about to become the next billionaire.